And we are back with another episode of the Wrestling Roundtable podcast as we are a mere 3 weeks, 2 weeks and counting. I've lost count. I'm having so much fun. From WrestleMania 42 in Las Vegas, returning to the scene of the crime of last year. But we've got a really good show that we're put that they seem to be putting together, and we're here to talk about it. As always, I'm Ryan Hall. Got my guy Dominique LaRue joining us, and Dominique, I think I want to start this week with something that happened on the live stream of a human being that calls himself IShowSpeed. When let's just say that my guy LA Knight turned that man into almost like what Kevin Nash did to Rey Mysterio Jr. back in like 1997, back on that Monday Night Raw when he just threw him into the side of that truck. That was That was crazy. That was crazy. And obviously they're setting up something with IShowSpeed.
Yes. LA Knight turned him into a what are them the machines or the things that they put in a car that they use to crash to kind of like test out the
Turn
framework
him
of
into
it.
a crash test dummy. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. That's exactly what he did. LA Knight popped up on him. I Shall Speed apologized like he was doing on Monday Night Raw. I'm not a bad guy. Chat knows I'm not a bad guy. I didn't mean to, blah, 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 blah. And then LA Knight in LA Knight fashion, he's never ceased to amaze us. He just turned I Shall Speed into a car crash by throwing him into his own computer. So, and it reminded me of that stream that Zelina Vega did and Bianca Bella
Yeah.
pull up on her, and that was pretty funny. So, I do like the fact that as we're growing up in age, obviously we're getting very older than we were when we were kids. The entertainment aspect of wrestling has evolved because
Hmm.
it went from people pulling up to people's houses to obviously pulling up to someone's house as they streaming now, and they're finding multiple ways of us as fans to watch their product outside of just a general TV screens or whatever the case may be. So yes, they definitely are setting up a program either between I Show Speed and LA Knight just one on one, or we're possibly going to get a not three, excuse me, a three-man tag team match between Division and I Show Speed, Usos and LA Knight, which I'm not even gonna crash out about this. I shared this with you earlier before we got on the show.
Be careful. Be
My
careful, Dom. Be
energy,
careful. Yeah.
my energy is definitely shifted from excitement and happiness because Judgment Day is going to be demolished and done for. But now that went
So
from
we think.
happiness to utter sadness and just disgust because we went from a possible new age evolution with the vision to a downgraded, just second tier version of the vision that nobody asked for, nobody really wanted. Um, and I just the quicker
Yeah.
we move on from Logan Paul and Austin Theory, the better. But they're going to just suck the life out of us and just squeeze that rag until it's completely dry of just whatever they can do with the fish. So
Dude, it's wrestling. It's not that deep. But I get what you're saying. I totally get what you're saying. But you also can't really fault, and I'm not backing up Logan Paul and Austin Theory at all. But you also can't really fault them for being the last remaining stragglers on that island because that was supposed to have been the next evolution. But all three of their main guys are either hurt or coming back from being injured.
yeah, which just recently today I saw that news and reports are saying that Wrasslin is medically cleared. So
Really?
no. Excuse me.
I was about to say
Ron
I've
Breaker.
heard Ron
Ron
Breaker.
Breaker.
Yeah,
Breaker. Yeah, yeah. It's one of the bees. So
I was about to say that'd been a damn miracle if he got cleared this quick.
oh yeah, they put a vibranium arm on it. You know, they put a shield on
Exactly.
his arm, and he's walking like
Exactly.
that. So
Exactly.
he
I
can't.
mean, God, it
When
like he just tore his bicep a minute and a half ago.
he
Um,
tsunamis, he got this is all he got right here, but he can do that. So
and be like like tsunamiing Jacob Fatu with one arm at this point.
but
But
yes, correction. My bad. I'm sorry.
yeah,
I meant
you're fine. I'm like, what?
caught myself slipping.
Bronson Reed, dude. Okay. But I'm definitely kind of leaning, I think, more towards more towards the six-man tag team match idea.
Yeah.
Um, for the simple fact is that IShowSpeed is not a wrestler. He is not a trained wrestler. He's been working out, yeah, but he is not a trained wrestler. And I don't care if he was, I don't care if he was Ricky Steamboat in his prime. You can't, you you can't get a five-star match out of a guy like that. I mean, he may surprise us all like come in like Floyd Mayweather or Bad Bunny actually done some work, but at the same time, I'm not holding my breath.
Yeah, I mean, the time that Randy hasn't been on the show, I think he's been working out with Actual Speed. I mean, don't get me wrong. Actual Speed is very athletic.
Oh, he is.
Very,
Yeah.
yeah, he's very athletic. So I will give the benefit of the doubt to him. Um, Obviously Logan Paul has showed us, you know, if you have some type of athleticism, you can go a long way in WWE. So I will give Actual Speed all the benefit in the world. But to sit here and say I'm excited or happy or whatever the case may be with him being involved in division and Uso business, I'm not. Um, am I happy that the Usos lost the tag team titles? I'd rather they would have lost it to somebody else. But I get it. And like you said, it's wrestling. Uh, you know, you deal with the cards that are dealt to you. Uh, I'm fine with Logan Paul and Austin Theory having the tag team titles. Got to have a heel to have the belts anyway. If they're doing the whole big bloodline babyface turn, but um, I just really
But
am on
yeah,
division.
but here's my
So,
question. And this just really hit me.
right.
With the Usos losing the tag team titles, do you not have that tag team title on WrestleMania? Because if you do a six-man tag team match, that means that those belts are going to be held up.
Yeah.
Because there's no way that match is going to be for the tag team titles. It shouldn't be.
It doesn't make any sense for us.
Do you figure out a way to get the tag team titles off of the Vision in the meantime? Because that also kind of helps with Paul Heyman's kind of neurotic storyline.
So you think the division or they just won them last week? So you think they're going to defend them maybe before WrestleMania, like to this upcoming week or the take home episode of SmackDown?
But
Well, Raw,
against,
excuse me.
but I wouldn't want to keep the titles off of WrestleMania.
Yeah.
But we're only 2 weeks ahead of the show, so I don't know if you can build something up in the meantime.
See, that is called when you don't build other tag teams up. You are pretty
No.
you're pretty stagnant to just using the same old thing night in and night out. So
But when you look at SmackDown, you've actually got some really good tag teams.
yeah, and that's crazy how we moved the Usos and Roman over to Raw, and yet SmackDown has the better brand of tag team champions. I mean, what
Right.
tag team teams?
Yeah.
Excuse me.
You brought up an interesting name that I wanted to tag onto this. Where have the Profits been lately? I know they've been wrestling some like some non-televised shows, but that's a tag team that when they come back and they're healthy and they have a good creative behind them, that's something that can they could end up in the championship hunt, with barely even asking for it
Yeah, I mean they can end up
because they're that prominent.
and they can end up being champions again. I mean, I wouldn't be mad if they were to win the tag team titles. Now, my biggest gripe of them coming back is when they left or when they wasn't being featured, they was doing this whole angle of them having turmoil in the team. And me, you and I have had this discussion many, many, many multiple times. Uh, Montez Ford is a star. Montez Ford is ready to be a singles competitor, yet they don't pull the trigger on him. And it's to the point now where it's the same thing with LA Knight. You know, they dangle that fruit right in front of our faces of like, oh, he's gonna be a future star. He's gonna be a future heavyweight champion. And it was multiple opportunities, but it never did anything. So now it's to the point where like, all right, man, we good on that. Still like the
And that,
guy, but
yeah.
it's pretty much that ship is sailed. I'm afraid that I mean, it's possibly at that point now with Montez Ford, where he was in the elimination chamber a couple years back to even get a number one contender spot, and yet after that it was nothing. And then you do this whole thing with him and um, Dawkins, where they get the belts, they lose the belts, then they're trying to fight to get the belts back, and then now it's turmoil with the the Y6 and Bo Dallas. He's talking to Montez and kind of spreading that little Easter egg of like potentially them breaking up, and they never do that. And that's another thing with WWE where they have certain things, and then they just maybe it was the road dog situation that was like screwing up storylines and having them like go somewhere, and then they just stop and they just flip it around and do something else. But I just want them to get stuff right. And with Street Profit, I need them to be right. I need them to be back. I need them to be hunting for the titles. Uh, Maybe sprinkle some Montez into some single competition for the U.S. title, maybe here and there.
Hmm.
But um, if it's true that they're coming back soon, that only means that not only are we getting Street Profit back, but we could be getting Bianca Belair back pretty soon too, which I'm pretty excited. You and I both have
Would that break my
mentioned
heart? Yeah, wouldn't that break my heart?
multiple times. So
Yeah.
uh, since I mentioned Bianca Belair, what is your thoughts about Jade and her crew? Does it make any sense to you? Does it, I don't know, is it appealing or is it just waste time to you?
I kind of feel like it's just a waste of time because when Jade came over, when Jade came over from AEW, we were all excited. But we obviously knew that she wasn't, that she needed some time to kind of get her, you know, to really become a good worker.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I've been incredibly disappointed with what they've done with her. Um, and as much as I love Rhea, this whole program is doing nothing for me. Like, I don't buy Jade's crew as heels. I don't buy Mi Chen as a heel, that's for sure.
Yeah. Uh, I totally get that. I totally get it. Um, and I know I say this word a lot. No disrespect. Um, BFAB and Michin aren't. That's like putting Maxine Dupree and what's her name, Ivy Now together and putting them pairing them with uh, Raquel.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just like throwing stuff against the wall to see what sticks at this point.
And see, that's the thing. That's the same thing that Jade left in AEW. She had a group called the Baddies, and she was, I mean, she was ramshacking everybody by herself. But then all of a sudden, now she get baddies, and they were just like pretty much eye pieces or eye candy or whatever with the group. So, like, it didn't really elevate the other two as it should. Like when you get a faction together, it should elevate everybody.
Yes.
Like great factions, DX,
NWO.
Shield, NWO, Evolution, hell, the Bloodline. I mean, like all these factions,
Four horsemen.
four
Yeah.
horsemen. Everybody should be eating from this faction, not just one
Yes.
person and you just the sidekicks. That's just this. I mean, like we've had factions like that, but look how fast that burnt out. Or look how, or, I mean, even Judgment Day. Like as much as I hate Judgment Day, as much as I trash talk about
Careful,
Judgment Day,
careful, careful, careful.
everybody in that group elevated themselves. Like, look how Damien Priest went from, US title holder to just like legit world champion. Rhea, obviously. I ain't got to get too much on her. Dom, Finn obviously kind of decreased in the group, which I'm glad now that he's starting to get his stride back. But stuff like that. And yeah, like you said, it does no justice, no good for this storyline that, you know, okay, I get it. Women are jealous of Rhea. So they want to gang up on Rhea because Rhea, mommy's all on top and blah, 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 blah. But I think we would have had a better storyline if Bianca was fighting for the belt or Naomi came back and she wanted to get her belt back or something of that magnitude. But like you and Jade have a real beef, and I get it. They trying to egg on with the whole behind the scenes heat.
Hmm.
But my thing is, if Candice LeRae, I don't know why I'm about to go that way, but if what is Zack Ryder's wife name? No, Chelsea
Chill.
Green. So if Chelsea Green and what's the name do not join Rhea,
Respect the president now. Come on.
respectfully.
Yes.
If she does not have Rhea's back, then I don't see where we're going with Rhea fighting three women and leading up to WrestleMania. It's just not. I just, I went from excited to kind of like, all right,
Like we thought there was some potential with that match. We
yeah.
thought that there was some potential with that match. But it doesn't seem like, I mean, I don't care if you put like 50 women against her. It doesn't seem like Rhea Ripley will have a chance to lose that match. I mean, and that does not speak very highly for Rhea right now, and it damn sure doesn't speak highly for Jade because matches like that, especially when you see two big physical, specimen talents like that, it's supposed to be kind of on an even level, and right now they don't seem like that. And
And to
you
be
can,
honest,
yeah, go ahead.
if I'm getting my tail whooped by you, what makes you think I'm gonna join you? BFAB and
And
Michin
that's what made no sense.
has been getting their tail kicked night in and night out by Jade to the point where, granted, it's not Jade's fault. It just happens, but the two were injured.
Yeah.
And then you come back, you have a cup of coffee in the back, and all of a sudden y'all join her. That don't make a bit of sense.
I mean, look up Stockholm syndrome in the dictionary, and that's a prime example of it. You're
Absolutely.
kind, yeah, ugh. Yeah. I wish you hadn't brought that up, but I'm glad you did because it just
I mean, I had
doesn't
to.
it just doesn't
It
make
don't make,
sense.
yeah, it don't make sense. What have we been pushing on this show from the beginning of the year? WWE make stuff. I almost said the S word. Make stuff make sense. It doesn't make sense. It's a road dog. And once again, I'm going back to Jesse James. Um, why put two people with a person that it seemed like they despise Jade because they literally got
Yeah.
taken out by Jade. Then you turn around and help, and you're helping her. I don't know, Stockholm maybe, but or just maybe they're doing it for their own personal gain. Maybe they're turning her towards the end. I don't know, but right now it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't add fuel to this storyline. To be honest with you, how we go from the Twitter beef between the two women to now I just got two women that I just whoop their tails and they're joining me to whoop your tail. So I just don't. If it was just still one on one and them going back and forth about each other and like, oh, you just made it look good and she comes back with Rhea, you this, that, and the third, whatever case may be, I would have been totally fine with it. But now you add this and it makes Jade look even weaker.
Thank you. Yes.
That's the whole point. Like that's the whole point my brother Ryan was saying. You are already on like Rhea's level physically. Y'all both are.
Yes.
I mean, hell, I mean, Jade is probably taller than Rhea. But the simple fact of the matter is, that's like perfect example. It's like Rey Mysterio versus Big Show, right? It's already a David and Goliath comparison. But then Big Show gets help. Why do you need help against Rey Mysterio? That makes no
Yeah.
sense.
It's like Big Show's got help from the Great Khali or somebody like
Yeah,
that.
he gets the Great Khali and then Andre the Giant. You get three other big dudes. Like what are we doing?
And then you've got Rey Mysterio, who's like 5'6".
Yeah. So like it makes no sense whatsoever.
Yeah. And that's it. Yeah. And that's a shame because I was looking forward to that, but not anymore. But a feud that is making sense, a program that is making sense, is what they're doing with Brock Lesnar and Obafemi.
But that's probably gonna be that's that's the match that's leading us to WrestleMania. To be honest, that's the feud that we want.
Exactly, exactly. But can we talk about that segment that we had the other night between those two when, when Brock and Paul Heyman finally call him out and he goes through and absolutely starts, you know, throwing around those security guards, throwing around Adam Pierce, but he threw that one security guard like he was back at Alabama throwing the shot put.
Before we get on that, can we go to the aura of this guy?
Oh my God,
Brock comes
yes.
out, they call him out.
Brock
He
Lesnar, one of the most intimidating figures in the past 20 years in this business.
he called up Obafemi like Obafemi was Brock, basically.
Yeah.
And then the whole at it it felt like the reincarnation of Brock when he first became like when Paul Heyman basically turned on Brock and Brock was just like by himself. Fans are just eating it up with Obafemi, not just his aura, but his strut, everything about him. This man ain't even cut a promo for real,
All right.
and yet he's so over. And then to demonstrate his strength the way you do is ridiculous. Like you said, the way he threw that grown man, he picked him up like a loaf of bread, wheeled him around. You would have thought he was that the size of that ball he threw at Alabama. That's pretty much how it looked in his hands with a grown man. And he threw him. in the air, mind you. The dude was floating in the air for about a good 10 seconds and landed on the ground. He landed on his hip. I thought he broke his hip. Like I hope that check was worth it to take
No
that
kidding.
bump he did. Because that was not an ordinary bump on some, wood. It was actual like concrete. So, and then not only that, but Adam Pierce, the GM, gets in your face and you shove this man like he was nothing to you.
Like he was just like a mosquito on your nose in the summertime.
Brother, you've been on Raw for a couple weeks on end. And I mean, you really just recently signed your deal to Raw, and you pushed the GM out of your face like you're Stone Cold Steve Austin and Vince McMahon back in the day, and just get out of my face. You're nothing to me. Now, this man signs your checks. Well, Triple H does, but
Yeah,
you get my drift.
Tony Khan, not Tony Khan, but Nick
Whoa,
Khan. Yeah,
whoa, whoa.
yeah, yeah. It's late. We're recording this late. It's been a long day. That paging Dr. Freud. But anyway, um, what they're doing with Obafemi is one of the most incredible things they've done in years because his entire presentation, I mean, outside of his physique and and his strut and just his aura, but his entire presentation with the room blackout when his music hits, the lasers, the music, his entire presentation. If this man, I think this man needs to have a world title level title by the end of the year. He needs to carry one of the two main championships into the Royal Rumble because you could easily derail this. You could easily derail this if you're not super careful. You could easily derail this. You can turn this into LA Knight Part 2. You can turn this into Montez Ford Part 2. Yeah, somebody who's like super duper over Jey Uso Part 2. You could turn this, from somebody who is popular, yes, but there's popular and then there's 2002 Brock Lesnar in this kid, Obafemi. And if they screw this up,
You know
we're
what?
gonna,
We ain't
well,
even touch.
yeah. Let's not even go there. Let's not even go there.
We ain't even touch the most important aspect of that night.
Yeah, talk to me.
After he shoved Adam Pierce, he walked around the ring and made Brock wait.
And the way Brock sold that, like with that look of fear in his eyes. This is Brock Lesnar. This is a man who F5 sharks for crying out loud. I know y'all seen the pictures, but this is a man. This is Brock Lesnar, and he was scared to death of this man.
Standing in the ring, waiting, like anticipating him to get in,
Yeah,
like I got
N-
a fight on my hand. This ain't no ordinary fight.
knowing that he's about to get his teeth knocked down his throat.
And the man made Brock Lesnar wait. I've never seen anybody just walk around the ring outside of Roman Reigns, uh, Seth Rollins, CM Punk, just etc. Like these are mega stars we're talking about. Like these are
Right.
top players in WWE.
Made guys first.
Yes, and this is Obafemi. This guy, I mean, he was a megastar in NXT. Like he's the guy. He was the guy in NXT. Comes to the main roster, and now he is the potential new guy on the main roster. I'm excited. They they don't need to fumble it. That's all I gotta say. Do not
Yeah.
fumble Obafemi.
Please, for the love of God, don't fumble this.
Well, speaking of a fumble, um, How you feel about where we're going with the Randy Orton telephone call he's having week in and week out?
I'm worried this is going to end up being kind of on the same level as who was in the box.
Oh
Again,
God, no,
no offense to Danhausen,
no, none whatsoever.
but the way, I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong, I freaking love the guy, but the way that they hyped him up, yeah, didn't really make much sense. But this whole Randy Orton thing, I'm very curious as to where they're going with this because he's clearly taking advice, taking counsel from somebody. And I don't think it's just the voices in his head that counsel him and they understand. I think it's got to be somebody on the level of, we mentioned Ric Flair earlier. Contractually, I don't think it could work because I think he's still tied in with AEW, but somebody on that level. Um, I also thought about I've also thought about Cowboy Bob, who's also a WWE Hall of Famer. But an interesting name that we both kind of brought up here. I really hope they don't go this route. I really hope they don't go this route because with some of the things that have been in the news lately, and I don't want to go into it with this whole lawsuit.
Yeah,
I'm sure you know where I'm going with this, and I don't want to complete that sentence.
yeah.
Um, what about Ted DiBiase Jr.? I would prefer his old man, to be honest, because his old man is not stained by that whole, by the whole, you know, ripping off senior citizens thing that he was arrested for.
Yeah. I, I don't. The
But I don't
new
know, but I don't
age,
know if it makes sense though, is the thing. Gee, how many times have we said that in just this episode? Well, okay.
the new age of WWE. I don't think they'll go that route. Obviously, the old man wouldn't care. I mean, that brings pop into the business.
Yeah.
But
One of the best heels in history.
yeah. Um. So if it's not him, two options that we've recently discussed, and I mean, we pretty much discussed this option from last year. Uh, One could be the great one, the great pebble, as you like to call him, the final boss himself. And a strong number two. Last week, we just recently found out that he's going to be not only the host of the WrestleMania, but obviously he has ties to both men. He's very close to both, but yet he's very close to one particular one that is going for his record. And also, he recently posted a picture on his Instagram page of Randy sitting with the title, the undisputed title in his lap. And he has that RKO with the blood on it.
Hmm.
But remember, his shirt says RKO everybody, right? Tell me why he got a picture of Randy with that shirt, but it says RKO Cody on the shirt. So now, as much as I would like The Rock to be the guy, it's just ironic that John Cena not only makes a video of him saying he's going to be the host of WrestleMania, but night one of WrestleMania, I'm saying we need a big kick, right? Going
We
into
do.
night two. And what bigger pop is it that John Cena not only returns to be the host, but he inserts himself in that match. And I say inserted because, all right, we're going down this path where like, Randy is Randy. We know who Randy is. We know what he's capable of. Cody has to get to Randy's level, right? So give or take, Cody does get to Randy's level somewhat. He's still doing the babyface thing, but he kind of tweaks it a little bit to the point where he try to become a little bit thinking like Randy or whatever the case may be. But you can think like Randy all you want, but you cannot be Randy Orton. Randy will do anything possible, right?
Hmm.
Cody got it's kind of like that Batman aspect, right? Batman can easily kill somebody, no problem. But he has this moral code about him. He says if I do that, then I'm no better than the person that I'm locking up, basically. So Cody
Right.
has that moral code of if I cheat, I'd be no better than Randy Orton or Roman Reigns or whatever the case may be. Randy don't have that moral code. He would work with The Rock. He would work with Roman Reigns possibly if it meant he can get that title around his waist. So why not Johnson?
Okay, I'm got three things that are coming up here.
Okay.
I think, um, I think kind of on a baseline logic, The Rock makes the most sense to me.
Mhm.
Okay, because you can not only tie back in to the whole "I want your soul" from last year,
Mhm.
but Dwayne's dad and Randy's father were both contemporaries of each other. The Soul Man and the Cowboy were both contemporaries of each other.
Mhm.
So that's definitely a possibility. Do I think it's a probability? I don't know. The Rock definitely makes some sense. The Rock definitely makes some sense, but your John Cena logic definitely is, definitely adds up because he's got history with both of those guys. He's got long history with Randy. He's got history with Cody. You're not going to see him, I don't think, in his jorts and in his, bright colored t-shirts. Do you see him in a three-piece suit? I don't know, but that's more likely, I think. But at the same time, I think it kind of depends on what kind of media we get out of it, what kind of character we get out of John Cena as we get closer to WrestleMania, then what's going to happen out of that. Because the third thing that comes to mind for me is both of those guys, both Randy and Cody, and by kind of by their proxy, The Rock and John Cena, they've got history with the guys in the main event too. They've got history with Roman, and they've also got history with CM Punk. Could you foresee, especially if it's The Rock, could you foresee some kind of, because the whole wrestling has more than one royal family. That's the thing that's kind of sticking out to me because that's the one thing that Randy said that like seems to be really sticking out to me. Because both Randy and Dwayne are part of wrestling royal families, if you think about it. Could you possibly see some kind of interference that cost one of those two the championship? And one of those two meaning CM Punk or Roman Reigns, setting up some future action. And I'm thinking more along the lines of figuring out a way to cost Roman Reigns that opportunity to win that championship. Because you and I both think that Roman Reigns is going to go over in that match, right? But if in the event, in the unlikely event that he doesn't, could we figure out a way to cost Roman that championship, that championship opportunity to start building some heat for a possible match between he and Dwayne at WrestleMania 43? I know I just threw a lot at you, but like that's kind of how I think as, as a storyteller.
Right. No, I mean, to be honest, I was gonna mention that to you, like maybe to discuss next week, but I'm glad that you brought that up now because like now I can get my thoughts on that too. Um, I don't, me personally, I don't feel Roman will lose, but at the same time, I do feel like there would be little nuggets thrown in there to where he kind of almost do lose because of um like a shift would happen where like you and I discussed about like potentially the bloodline becoming babyface. And
Hmm.
one possible way is I mean, I don't see CM Punk working with The Rock, but I feel like Roman wins that belt, right? And we
And to be fair, I agree. I think he does go over, but
right. But
you're
he goes
speaking
over in a
in
way
speculation here.
he
Yeah.
goes over in a way where he wins the belt. Everybody's high. We're celebrating this, that, third, whatever. Remember, The Rock came out in Philly when he won the Royal Rumble, when he was like out there trying to help the crowd cheer his cousin on, and Philly, Philly fans they booed Santa Claus for God's sake. So I mean,
Yeah. They do batteries at
so
the man. Yeah.
yeah, so he comes out, everybody's like, "Oh snap, The Rock," da, da, da," and they like, here we go with the high chief and the tribal chief, but yet something shifts, and The Rock gives Roman a rock bottom, right? And he's looking over his cousin, and he's looking down, but he's looking down, and we're thinking he's looking at the title, right? But he's not looking at the title. He's looking at the Olafalo. And we go into like the following week, and Roman wants answers, and blah 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 blah. But we don't get them, right? We only get like people coming out for his belt. Okay, backlash happens. It's in Tampa. That's close to Miami ish.
Hmm.
Roman loses that belt. Who causes him to lose? The Rock, right?
Okay.
We get, a little back and forth. Pretty much, I feel like if they do it right, right, Dwayne doesn't have to show up the entirety of the year, but just enough to like increase that feud to push it all the way to WrestleMania. I mean, we literally did John Cena versus The Rock for a whole entire year, like through video promos, maybe occasional appearances and stuff. But that led it all the way up to WrestleMania. So why can't they do that with Roman and The Rock? They have enough star power. Like literally, them two in a match together or being named in a match together would generate buzz throughout the entire year. It'll be so many TikTok videos made, so many theories, so many all this blah blah blah. Obviously, you and I will be discussing it night in and night out. But I mean, we've always said WrestleMania is not only a ending point on certain rivalries, but also a beginning point to other rivalries.
Exactly. Exactly. I like your thinking on that. I really like your thinking on that because I think for a match of that star power, Roman versus The Rock, obviously, for a match of that star power. You're not just doing that like you're not just declaring that a couple of weeks before WrestleMania. You've got to build the hell out of that. You've got to build layers. You've got to build a reason. You've got to build reasons behind that. And I think if you're able to pull something like that off, I mean, it would be incredible. But does this corporate creative room have the storytelling juice to be able to handle something like that?
I also got
I have my doubts.
I also got another nugget that could definitely push this narrative. Now, you and I have discussed this like early on within this show. Remember when we was talking about John Cena going to the dark side and we referenced Star Wars, correct?
Hmm.
You flip that. You take John Cena out, put Cody in. The Rock is basically Palpatine.
Yep.
Darth Vader is Cody. Um, Cody, basically people are telling him, hey, I mean, in order to beat this guy, you have to get to that. You have to think like Randy. You have to be like Randy. You have to do this, that, and the third, right? So, in order to do that, and then this has been said, like, I don't know if people remember this or not, but we're definitely going to remind you. Cody said that offer is always available. It's been available, it's still available. So, if you can't beat Randy as yourself, then why not join the dark side? Then not only would that help Cody win, obviously people will be pissed off, obviously whatever case may be. But like, what did you and I discuss? We said if Randy was to lose at WrestleMania to Cody, it'd be one of two things. It'd be either uh obviously some flugaziness or whatever. But number two, that makes absolute sense. If Cody was to turn heel, that's the only way that'd be justified to me and you of me being fine with Cody still being champion. He has to turn heel. So he turned heel with the assistance of The Rock. That causes a feud with Roman because Roman still has beef with Cody. That beef has never stopped. I mean, whenever them two see each other, and it's pretty much on the same level to me as the new age of Stone Cold and The Rock. When they see each other in the ring, it's on sight.
Yep.
There's no discussion. It's no like love there. It's straight like mutual respect because obviously they both, are undisputed champions or whatever case may be. And Cody is the one that really broke Roman's streak. But at the same time, you have what I want. You have the title I made. You beat me, and I never got my get back for that. And then on top of that, you're working with my family. So now that aspect of family is finna get divided. And now you have something leading up to next WrestleMania. And then on top of that, you can incorporate all the bloodline members, every single last one of them, to the point where it's a civil war within the that particular family, where now the Usos can break up. Now Jacob can get asserted in working with Roman. Solo could possibly work with Roman, or you know the brothers, all three can finally get together and probably start a new thing and go against Roman. It's so many different factors that could be added into the whole storyline leading up to next year's WrestleMania that will make absolute sense. Would they pull the trick on it? Probably not.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know that Paul Heyman is sometime last year, but Paul Heyman said we still got some juice left in the bloodline story. We're like only in about the fourth inning. of this like of this bloodline story. And hmm, I mean anything better than, just random, like the MFTs just have done nothing for me. They have been just a disappointment to me.
And I can tell you now, I'm pretty sure our fans who listen to this show, I don't know if y'all are Marvel fans or not, but I'm pretty sure y'all going to get sick of me referring to Marvel stuff because at the same time, this Bloodline storyline is about in the same aspect of what's going on in Marvel. Like phase 4 and 5, I believe. Yes. 4 or 5 was kind of like wonky. This is where we at right now with the MFTs of it all, the Shula, the tribal thief and all this other bull crap, like that crap going on. Like we gotta get back to the moneymaker. We gotta get back to the one storyline that not only drove us through the cold days and HW hockey sticks of COVID, but brought us out into the light and brought people back into like investing into wrestling in the first place. Like the Bloodline storyline would really push the juice to WWE becoming this global superstar that it is and bringing in all that money and revenue. And ESPN wanted to get in on the juice. Like ESPN is pissed right now because of how viewerships are going with the product because this ain't what they paid for. They wanted what was everybody so invested in talking about. And the only way to do that is to get that royal family back into the spotlight.
Yeah, yeah, you got to get yeah, you got to do something with that. You've got to do something with that.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah.
And then one way is to kick off this storyline that we've been talking about. Because could you just imagine? Not only do Cody join forces with The Rock, that creates a shift between the High Chief and the Tribal Chief, and then now we have a Civil War storyline going from all the way from this year going into next WrestleMania, and lo and behold, we don't know where will it be at. But at the same
But
time, you get that you get that marquee match between The Rock and Roman. Oh, them tickets are gonna be sold.
I mean,
We won't be talking about the prices of tickets. We be talking about how it's sold out, how quickly it got sold out.
exactly. Exactly. And imagine if they do a stare down between The Rock and Roman Reigns. Like if they do a stare down, how like we're still replaying the Hulk Andre stare down. And that was 40 years ago. We're still replaying that. You're going to be replaying that clip for the rest of, as long as there is the WWE.
I mean, you can play down
That is
the stare
money.
down
That
their
is
head.
gold-plated money.
You can play the stare down their head for WrestleMania 40 before as The Rock put it, the Cody Crybabies interfered in that. But just play that night when they had a face to face on SmackDown. People were eating it up.
With a knife and fork.
So just imagine the stare down they would have if we get the High Chief versus the Tribal Chief for the Olafala. Who's the real head of the table? Who is the real like head honcho of that family? You do not need a title for that particular match. Yet do not rob Roman of getting the world title. Like Roman gets that world title, it elevates that world title. Um, it elevates whoever gets that title off of Roman next, which could be over Femi. Just saying. Or it'll be Jade. Just saying.
Could
That
be.
causes a shift in the family right there. Jade beats Roman. You know, God knows what could happen with that. Or just anybody. We finally get Seth versus Roman. We finally get that match, you know, or whatever the case may be. But like me, if you finna say and expect me to think that CM Punk is gonna beat Roman at WrestleMania and continue on being champion, going into the new year, right? I don't think you're crazy because it's like, yes, yes, CM Punk has been doing a great job as being the fighting champion on Raw, whatever the case may be. But like, this is Roman. This ain't some, no offense to Finn, no offense to Gunther, no offense to like the other guys, but Roman is far superior, like far as like just the aura of this guy. The show shifts completely different when he's on the show versus when he's off the show. Now you and I talked about this numerous times. Like how different of a show it is when Roman is being featured and Roman is being acclimated to the show. Everything's like on full go.
Yep. Every eyeball in that room, every camera in that room, like just like a human magnet, like a human magnet. You cannot teach that. With apologies to Enzo Amore, you can't teach that.
But that's just that's that word we love to say, aura. It's just the
Yep.
aura. He's the man. Like with or without that title, you're tuning into that show because he's on it.
Yes, he is. Yes, you are. Yes, you absolutely are. But I gotta say, interesting twist in that match feud between Roman and CM Punk. Um, Roman Reigns ate a pretty nasty little power bomb through the announce table too.
Did he ever? Yeah. But we knew it was coming. But the fact that we're getting physical with each other, and we're just 2 weeks away from WrestleMania. You and I both said that maybe around this time one would start to get physical, but I would have never thought, let alone would have imagined that Jay is the reason why Roman got physical with CM Punk. Because Roman, he was just chilled back, going to walk out, let CM Punk do his little chirping. But finally, something snapped in Roman, and it took Jay to push that. So, with that being said, it's like it's causing something in my brain of like, okay, think about the OG bloodline, right? Jimmy was Jimmy House. Jay was the right hand man, right? Solo was the enforcer. Paul was the wise man, and Roman was the trump chief. Well, the Sammy was Sammy. Sammy was, I guess, I don't know, the glue of the bloodline, I would say, but I don't know. So you take the new look bloodline, okay? Jimmy still. Jay's the hothead, but yet Jay has advanced beyond right hand man. Jay has been champion. So do you put Jay as the Oracle or wise man, maybe? Or the heir?
I don't know about that. I don't know if I, ever
Right.
use
I
the
don't know
word
about the
wise
the
for Jey
wise.
Uso.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's kind of, off the edges, but maybe the enforcer, right? And then you bring Solo back. Maybe Solo's the wise man. Maybe Solo, because Solo's talking now. He's not just sitting there with his hands crossed and just doing whatever the bidding that Roman wants. So maybe what he's sitting there chatting and this, that, that. Oh, maybe you put Jimmy as the wise man because Jimmy's more, calm and he's kind of like, oh, I'm quarterback too. I'm quarterback too. I got your back. OG, but like, I don't know. Really don't know. I'm just really excited. And if Paul is right, if we're not even finished with the bloodline saga, if we're going into the sixth inning, what do that look like? And then my thing is, where does it leave CM Punk in this aspect of it all? Does he lose to Roman? Does he just goes to the back of the line? Does he mm, like what where like with everything going on? That's what I'm really confused about because I mean this feud is revving up for sure. I mean they got both of them got their get backs. So now I'm looking forward to next Monday. Like where do we go from there? But with all this going on, right? And all these mentions of bloodline, like hey, LA Knight keeps saying, like, hey, if you're talking about, bloodline, I can't rock with you no more. Right?
Right.
Now think about the OG bloodline. They was heels, correct?
Hmm.
So they was running WWE. It was like, this is our show. We run things right here, blah, blah, blah. Right? So now if you flip the script and turn them babyface, and if just throwing out there on the whim, if Cody sides with The Rock, does that instantly to you make Roman and his bloodline the babyface against the evil empire of the final boss?
Whatever you come up with The Rock, he's got to be the heel. I mean, whoever's associated with The Rock got to be heels. I definitely think if they go that route, if they go that route with, final, you know, tribal chief versus high chief, um, again, wherever WrestleMania 43 is going to end up, um, I don't know. I don't know. I think it's kind of obvious that you play them as heels, that you play The Rock and whomever is associated with them as heels.
Oh, come on now, Ryan. You come on now whomever, come on. I see the gear turning in your head. Think about it now, because this is what you've been preaching ever since Cody has been champion, right?
Yes.
Everything about Cody
I
screams
I see. No, I see where you're getting at. Yeah.
heel. Everything from how he dress, how he acts like a politician. What does The Rock do? He comes out all, whatever fur vest or whatever he felt like he didn't kill that day and turn it into a vest. Like the sunglasses, the chain, all this. Could you imagine after
Random title
WrestleMania,
belts. Yeah.
random title belts? Could you imagine that after WrestleMania, they show up or wherever they probably still in Las Vegas, but they
Right.
show up, right? The Rock's music hits. He's standing right there. The lightning comes down, boom, boom, boom. He's standing, he doing the little whatever, and then Cody's music hits, right? Cody comes out, suit, all that other stuff with that smug on his face, that smile he always does, right? But this is a different smile because he just turned heel, and that arena is going to erupt with all the boos that you could possibly ever hear to Cody. Little kids crying, "Oh no, Cody, why you change your dark side?" Blah, 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 blah. They come
Say
out,
they
they cut
so
their
Cody.
promo.
Yeah.
Yeah, they cut their promo. It's man, Ryan. I swear to God, if they do this route, and you and I've already we've been discussing this for a long time, and they go this route,
For
I
years.
want, I want a check cut to us specifically from whomever is writing. I want them to cut a check. I want them to I want them to buy all your books. I want, we're gonna show up to that building. Like we're gonna talk to somebody.
I'll show you how to get there. Just right
Yeah.
down the road. Yeah, just right down the street. Yeah.
Because it's giving me chills. Just thinking
Yeah.
about it.
Dude, if they pull this off, like if they like again, I've been I've been saying this ever since Cody came back from AEW. His entire promotion, his entire whatever is arrogance. It's heel. It's, the $5,000 suits, the freaking watch on the chain. Come on. Do you think you're a 1930s politician with that? Come on. But I got one last thing on that before we wrap up here.
Yep.
When Cody turns heel, and I think it's kind of inevitable at this point, do you think he dyes his hair black?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he can't stay blonde. Uh, because why would you stay blonde? You've been blonde the whole entire time your babyface run. So why would you not change your hair black?
Because when he was a heel in Japan, he had dark hair and,
But
Ring of Honor and all that. Yeah.
isn't it his natural hair though? Isn't his hair black? He just
Yeah.
dyed it
No, no.
blonde.
Yeah. I mean, he dyes it blind. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, and like he said, this is out of Cody's mouth. He said if WWE won't allow me to turn heel because they wouldn't allow me to be what I want to envision a heel to be. And I mean, you can go back to his indie days. He was ruthless.
He was
Like
nasty as hell.
he was pretty much on the same level as what MJF is at AEW. So
Hmm.
I mean, to be honest, I think MJF got inspiration from Cody, basically.
Yes. Yes. Equal parts Cody and Roddy Piper, I think. But
Right.
yeah.
But I, just- I mean, yeah, to be honest, I don't care if he dies it or not. But
Yeah.
if he comes out still champion, it's because he's heel and it's because The Rock and oh, no, I'm gonna keep repeating myself on this, but like this was right the wrong that we witnessed last year by The Rock not meeting. He had other things doing, whatever the case may be, so he couldn't make that WrestleMania. But if he can make this WrestleMania in the same location, same place, obviously different days, but same place, same arena, same storyline, basically. I mean, John Cena turned heel. Cody basically turned heels, but I mean, Cody's basically, I'm not Cody, excuse me. Randy's resorting back to his old self, which was a heel. John
Right.
Cena turned heel to win the championship. Flip script, you get a double turn. Randy's still gonna be Randy. We still love Randy. Randy can call himself a heel, but I mean, you pretty much a babyface going into this
Yeah.
match. We just gonna say you heel. Cody's the real heel, but he's refusing to accept the fact that fans are booing him because we're sick and tired of the same stick. We need you to be different. We need you to go in this match. You are the real heel. Fans are literally cheering your head getting beat in by Randy Orton. He's supposed to be the bad guy, but yet he's the good guy, and you're the bad guy.
What happened to Anakin Skywalker? He had good intentions at first. He had good intentions, but then he kept getting pulled to the dark side. He kept getting pulled to the dark side. He kept getting pulled by the Emperor, The
Yeah,
Rock.
yeah.
You can turn Do you go Homelander or do you go Darth or do you go like Sith Lord Cody Rhodes at this point?
You know what? And I'm so glad we're on this topic. Remember The Dark Knight?
Very
You
well.
remember that scene Harvey Dent said where you live long enough, you die the hero or you live long enough to become the villain.
Mm-hmm. That's a badass
Cody is
line.
living
Yeah.
Cody is living long enough to become the villain. As long as you're champion, you will never be viewed as the hero to us because we're sick and tired of the same stick. Come out with your nice suit, smiling. this, that, and the third, doing the whole this.
Whoa, yeah.
Yeah, he doing this and oh,
What do you want to talk
like
about? Yeah,
what you want to talk about? We want to talk about you turning heel. That's what we want to talk about. We don't want to talk
right.
about you being the same old Cody Rhodes. Wearing the nice suit, you ain't gonna do nothing. You come out with the what was it, the blazer and stuff,
The
and
track, yeah,
yeah, we know you finna fight now.
yeah,
Like
yeah. The track suit with the cutoff.
tracksuit with the cutoffs, your sleeves,
Yeah.
yeah. We know you finna fight now. Like, no, 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 no. We're sick of all that. We need you to switch it up. Homelander is the perfect example. Homelander to the point where he feels like he's the good guy, but everybody knows he's the bad guy. He does slimy stuff. He doesn't care. This, then third. But yeah, he sits there, kiss babies, and sign autographs and stuff when he really doesn't want to do that. He just want to do whatever he wants to do, and everybody has to accept that fact. That is basically what we're at right now. And to be honest, if WWE wants to sell tickets and really boost up the sales, they would turn Cody heel because of the fact that I know they're getting sick and tired of hearing people talk about AEW. They're getting sick and tired of like, oh, AEW does better storylines, but they actually give us what we want. You give us this and the storyline with the bloodline, man, please.
Yeah, that equals tickets, that equals ESPN and Netflix subscriptions, that equals T-shirts, that equals, spending $10,000 for somebody to make pasta with a random WWE wrestler in Italy.
Because could you imagine the the shock value that would happen not only with night one but night two leading into next WrestleMania, like the next season of wrestling. Like I could just imagine all the like people on TikTok and stuff like making review videos and just like their eyes just bulging out because they just never would imagine not only Cody turning heel, but he's siding with The Rock. And now what that does to the whole family aspect of the bloodline, because the High Chief just signed with the guy that literally broke your family up. But that ties back all the way to bad blood though. When Roman sided with Cody, Rock came out and did that whole gesture that we talked about that didn't really go nowhere, but then turned that and flipped that back around, and now it comes to fruition. You sided with Cody, so now I got to get him and side with me, and now we got to turn on you.
Somebody is going to donate their soul for this.
Yeah, somebody got to get. I got to take Cody's soul, and now I got to take your Olafalo. I got to take your position because you, as the tribal chief, sided with the guy that basically broke our family up. So now I got to take that spot back. I got to right a wrong that you allow happen.
I love it. Man, if they pull this off, oof, oof.
I'm talking, man.
Yeah,
Ooh, Ryan, I
that ep
you
that,
talk
that
about
episode
excited.
that episode is going to be one for the ages.
Ooh, boy,
Yeah.
I what you talk about? I would want to do an episode the entire week, like every day, just talk about that because it's just man.
And how many of those episodes are you going to paint your face like Danhausen?
They pull that. I swear to God, Ryan, if they pull that off and it goes exactly how we are talking about it right now, I would keep my face painted the entire year. Every episode we do, I'm painting my face. I'm still working on trying to get that shirt, but I'm definitely gonna have that shirt before WrestleMania.
Yeah, yeah. You're going to get some questions at work for that.
Yeah, they're gonna look at me crazy, but I'm for real. I'm talking
Yeah,
as
yeah.
excited as I was that I called Jey Uso winning the Royal Rumble. I'm gonna be 1,000 times excited if they
Hmm.
even come to fruition of what we're talking about right now, as far as Cody turning heel and The Rock working with Cody and all this other stuff.
Yeah, yeah. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. But, you know,
Yeah,
I still
yeah,
have I still have my doubts. I still have
yeah.
my
Yeah,
doubts.
you
But
do we
again,
both.
It's too late. It's too late in this episode for me to start going down rabbit holes here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah. All right. 2 weeks to go before WrestleMania. I can't wait. I think it's going to be a hell of a show.
yeah. Me too. I'm
Yeah.
I'm excited for tomorrow. I'm excited to see if we're finally going to get the person that's on that phone call with Randy.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we'll certainly talk about it next week.
We surely will.
Yep. Well, it's another fun episode of the Wrestling Roundtable podcast. You can check us out on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, or just come on back next week. For Dom, I'm Ryan. You've been listening to the Wrestling Roundtable. Until we meet again, take care. So long for now, and don't let Danhausen cuss you.
And you are cursed.